The Nexus station erupted in chaos as the Velmari diplomatic cruiser materialized in the docking bay, half its hull glowing molten orange, the other half frozen in crystalline ice. Impossible, a quantum phase disaster that should have torn the ship apart at the molecular level. Get everyone back. Security Chief Thexel's tentacles whipped frantically. Quantum cascade imminent. The ship's going to take half the station with it. Through the crowd of panicking aliens, a human pushed forward. Hunched with age, liver-spotted hands gripping a worn tool bag, white hair thin beneath a faded baseball cap, reading, Mitchell's Repairs. We fix anything. Where'd you think you're going, old man? Thexel blocked his path. This is Velmari technology. Their own engineers can't comprehend a phase shift of this magnitude. Frank Mitchell, 78 years old and officially retired for a decade, squinted at the dying ship. Saw something like this back in '89. Well, not exactly like this, but close enough. Impossible. Quantum phase technology has only existed for, not quantum phase, son. Frank spat into a brass spittoon he carried everywhere. But I once fixed a diesel submarine that got half flooded with Arctic water while its engine room was on fire. Physics is physics. Hot, cold, pressure differentials. He shouldered past the security chief. Now get out of my way before those poor souls inside become physics experiments. Ambassador Zelvar emerged from the crowd, her crystalline form flickering with distress. That ship contains my entire diplomatic delegation. The peace accords. Lady, I don't care if it's got the Pope himself, Frank interrupted. You want them saved or not? The Velmari's chief engineer, Kixtor, floated forward, his gaseous form roiling with indignation. This human presumes to understand technology beyond his species' comprehension. Our phase matrices operate on principles that... Frank was already at the ship, running gnarled fingers along the hull. Aha! And when's the last time you got your hands dirty fixing something? Cloud Boy, this apprentice work. I am 800 cycles old. I have forgotten more about starship engineering than your entire species has learned. Good for you. Frank found an access panel, popped it open with a screwdriver older than some civilizations. But you ever fix a John Deere combine harvester with nothing but bubble gum and baling wire during harvest season? No? Then shut up and let me work. Inside the panel, alien technology pulsed with unstable energy. Frank studied it for 30 seconds, then began pulling components with the confidence of someone who'd spent 6 decades fixing everything from toasters to nuclear reactors. You can't just... Kixtor sputtered as Frank removed a crystalline component. That's a primary phase inducer. That's a fancy heat sink is what that is. Frank held it up to the light. See the scoring? Your phase thingy isn't causing the problem. It's a symptom. Real issues thermal management. Hot sides expanding faster than the cold side can contract, creating microfractures in your... He squinted at the alien script. Whatever this says. Containment field. The quantum containment matrix, yes, but... Right? So we need to equalize the expansion rate. Frank dug into his bag, pulling out items that made the assembled engineers recoil in horror. Duct tape, WD-40, a hammer that had percussive maintenance engraved on the handle. This is madness, Kixtor wailed. You're applying primitive mechanical solutions to quantum engineering. Quantum, schmuantum. Frank sprayed WD-40 into a joint. Everything in the universe moves, heats up, or breaks. The fancy names don't change that. He wrapped duct tape around a conduit with practiced ease. This'll hold your containment what's-it until we can get the temperature balanced. For 20 minutes, Frank worked. He ignored the protests, the warnings, the dire predictions. He hummed an old Johnny Cash tune while rerouting coolant lines with the same hands that had once coaxed B-52 bombers back to life. Then, with a satisfied grunt, he whacked a component with his hammer. The ship's chaotic energy patterns suddenly stabilized. The ice began to thaw uniformly. The molten sections cooled evenly. Inside, life signs that had been fluctuating wildly steadied. There we go. Frank wiped his hands on a rag. Give her another 10 minutes to normalize. Then you can board. Might want to check your thermal regulators, though. Looks like someone's been skipping maintenance. The delegation stumbled out of the ship, alive and unfazed. The station erupted in cheers. Kixtor stared at his readouts in shock. The quantum matrices are stable. The phase variance is... How? Frank packed up his tools. Son, I fixed farm equipment in a blizzard, jet engines in a sandstorm, and a space shuttle with a pocket knife. Your problem wasn't quantum anything. It was thermal expansion. Basic physics. Ambassador Zelvar approached, her form shimmering with emotion. You saved them all. How can we repay you? Got any coffee on this station that doesn't taste like reactor coolant? Frank asked. And maybe point me toward whoever's in charge of maintenance. Saw 3 other ships on the way in running hot. Someone needs to teach these kids about preventive care. As Frank shuffled away, Thexel turned to Kixtor. Did that human just fix impossible technology with primitive tools and... Was that adhesive tape? Kixtor's gaseous form swirled thoughtfully. I'm beginning to think humans don't solve problems the way we do. They don't see impossibility. They just see... problems. From down the corridor, Frank's voice drifted back. And somebody find me a proper spittoon. This brass one's getting full.